can be a new decision, like a new radical venture, a new thing that you are about to do. Or it can be something, a sinful behavior which you cut yourself loose from, which you declare war on a basis, I'm never going to touch this anymore in my life by the grace of God. I leave no open door. I burn the bridge. And you will see how your fire will be rekindled. But I've seen I've seen both. I've seen those willing to say, like, Jesus, I so want more of you. I'm ready to quit anything else. And then are those who start to get fearful of now it gets too radical. But it's okay. Jesus tries to allure them over and over. He doesn't say, like, okay, I'm not gonna talk with you anymore. If you're not ready, he will come back. He will knock on your door again, but your ability to listen to the knocking will get less and less. So we even had the situation of one person really being in the midst of our awakening for our revival, but there was one area in his life, a major issue, not just losing his temper once, a major issue in his life. He was not willing to really bring it in the light. Well, he said, like, okay, Jesus, I'm sorry, but without the total burning of the bridges and without bringing it into the light. And it's really sad to see, because it did such a havoc to his own soul. Flirting with a conscious sin is very dangerous. So it's something totally different from what Proverbs says, the just one falls 7 times a day. It's totally different. Oftentimes you can see it in the people's eye. You can see if somebody has not always, no, but sometimes there are people who have just right now I'm mentoring a young guy who was so heavily addicted to pornography. Incredible. He loved Jesus, but incredibly addicted to the worst kind of pornography. But he really fights it. I've been mentoring him for over 2 years now. And he's gaining more and more ground. And there are setbacks. But then he's gaining more and more ground. And you can see that Jesus loves him and he has bright eyes. Oh yes, there is still problems in his life. But you can see that there is a real holiness in him. Real holiness had nothing to do with never sinning. But it definitely has to do with hating sin. Hating it. Not explaining it away. Well, everybody does it. It's normal. It's part of my mentality. No, it is not. It is sin. He hates it and he loves me. But it all starts really with this is good. Last quote from Teresa of Avila. She said, "This is one of the saddest and most wearisome ways of living that I can think of. To follow Christ, but not as radical enough to really get rid of my sins. Because then," she says, "then you've lost the choice of the world, because they distaste you. See, if you convert, you don't lose the ability to sin, but you definitely lose the ability to enjoy it." Okay? So you've lost the pleasures of the sin, and you've not gained the pleasures of God. What a sad situation, where there are so many people that are like, but I'm afraid to really step out of the boat. That's so dangerous. Well, if you can walk on the water, it's not dangerous, but try once to stand with 1 foot on the boat and with one on water. This is very, very difficult. And people are wearisome and stressed. My life is so problematic. Well, it's not so problematic. Just make a decision, There is so much grace. There's so much grace. So much grace for somebody who says no to sin and really goes after God. And there is so much joy in the process. And it's so sad to have left the world, but not really entered the kingdom. Not really going for the real pleasures. Psalm 16 says, verse 11, "In your presence there is fullness of joy, and there are pleasures evermore at your right hand." Where this this is definitely a place of joy. There is the real joy. There's the real joy.